I hope you guys are doing well. Good morning and welcome to drboycetv.com, the home for intelligent Black people. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins, and I hope you guys can hear me okay. And I want to talk about Pharrell. Pharrell, the singer slash rapper slash fashion icon slash Black man, has introduced some initiatives to help Black owned businesses to obtain capital. I really like this idea. I think it's great. I have a lot of respect for him. And I thought I would do kind of a quick critical analysis of what he's doing and give some thoughts and suggestions on ways this might be more impactful to more people. So let me know. Give me a quick yes. Let's do a quick audio check. Give me a yes if you can hear me. Shout out the city you're from. And also, we're going to get started on drboycetv.com right now.
Here we are, clan the isms, cataclysm, great. Our people out here struggling, trying to make it in this state. Everybody out here doing it, but we the ones too late. Now family, we the ones who gotta delegate. Get that money in the power, never be fake. Stick to cosign for 3. What did he say? Create jobs, support our own. Educate the same and buy back your home. Got 3 degrees, triple 10. 3 PhDs, now we on the CNN. DBTV, let's talk about negligence. Ignorance is bliss, but we can turn it to intelligence. Believe none of what you hear, half of what you see. Let's break it down here on Dr. Boyce TV. Here we are.
drboycetv.com, the home for intelligent Black people. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins, and I want to say good morning to everybody. Shout out the city you're from. Let me know what city you're from. Elmira's out of Houston by way of Cleveland, Ohio. Sambola says, I can hear you watching from Liberia. Very cool. All the way around the world. I love that. Cornell, B1 Hollywood. Yes, I'm going to be in Hollywood, LA, January. We're going to do a stock options summit. So if you have an interest in understanding stock options, keep your ears open, and I will let you guys know when that's going to happen. In fact, a good way for me to text you and let you know right away, as well as when we go live, stuff like that, is you can text the word Boyce to 31996 if you'd like to know when we're live and doing content. And I won't text you too many times, but maybe once a week or so, just text the word Boyce to 31996. All right, so I see CJ Bot out of Leesville. I could definitely use the resources. I've been wanting to start a business for 15 years. Well, Miss Cammie, you got to go do it. You got to do it. If you've been wanting to do it for 15 years, don't let it be 15 and 1. 15 years plus 1. Don't let it turn into 16. Go for it. Go. You got to do it. You only live once. And I encourage you to pursue your dream. All right. So how many of you heard about Pharrell in terms of what Pharrell is doing right now for Black-owned businesses? I wanted to talk about it because as you guys know, we've been talking about the need for capital for Black-owned businesses for about 15 years now, ever since I left the faculty at Syracuse University. Actually, before I left Syracuse, we started talking about this because I've always been a believer that the one thing that Black people need is economics. The one thing we need is not more votes, because I'm going to just tell y'all a little secret. Let me know if you understand this. Voting has no power if you don't have an economic base. Voting has no power if you have no economic base. It's just true, because politicians work for the people that have the money. They work for the people who funded the campaign. They don't work for the people who voted for them, because the money is what they use to buy the votes. All the money that they get is pretty much an ad budget. It gives them the ability to run endless television, print, and digital ads, and to get people like us, the pansies, to go vote for them. And they find these dog whistle issues that will get you excited because they study you like lab rats. And then they get all your votes, and then they make all these promises that they never keep. But they always keep their promises to the people who wrote the damn check. They always keep a promise to the people who wrote the check. And what I like about Pharrell, here's one thing I really loved. I put this a clip of him on my Instagram page, which is Dr. Boyce Finance. If you want to follow me on Instagram, just go to Dr. Boyce Finance. And I shared a clip where he was basically saying that in 2024, if we support each other and support each other's businesses, then it doesn't matter who's in office. That if Black people build ourselves up economically, if we make smart decisions economically, support each other economically, then that's going to override anything that you can do at the ballot box. I'm not saying don't vote. I've never told anybody not to vote. I want to make this 100% clear. The propaganda is heavy. When people like me talk, when independent Black minds talk, who don't just follow along with the program, they get scared. They get very upset when a Black man who's smarter than them is speaking honestly about the fact that they've done nothing for your community. These politicians have done hardly anything for the Black community. These districts that they represent are falling apart. Kids are being shot in neighborhoods that vote for the same damn Democrat every single election, and they're not getting anything done. I'm not saying that you shouldn't vote. It's okay to vote, but I have no problem telling you that you should vote for who you want to vote for, and also that economics is really the key to your power, not more voting. We've already done that. We've tried that. We tried two things. We've tried extensively. Three things we've tried really extensively are our votes, religion, and jobs. Voting and going to church and getting jobs are three things Black people have done for the last 400 years. And those three things have not helped us accumulate any power. It's only made us bigger slaves, bigger servants. Now, again, I'm not against religion. Nothing wrong with that. Go to church. If you want to go to church, do that. That's cool. I have nothing against people that have jobs. Of course. I mean, a lot of us have jobs. I had jobs at Taco Bell and Arby's, all kinds of stuff. Ain't nothing wrong with having a job. But that's not going to get you real power in this country. And that's the honest to God truth. So anyway, as I move on, do me a favor. Please hit the thumbs up button. Thumbs up, share, subscribe. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins. And by the way, in the Black Business School, we have financial workbooks for children that we put together with Black experts. If you go to financialworkbooks.com, you can actually get a massive, massive discount. I want to say it's like 70%, maybe something like that. Just use the code word Black Friday 2023, all one word, Black Friday 2023. All right, so it is financialworkbooks.com. The deal ends in a couple hours, but if you're watching this video, you can go give it a try. All right, so Pharrell is doing this thing where he is working with a lot of corporate partners to raise money for Black-owned businesses. Now, to give you some details, and I don't have all the specifics, but since 2020, he has something called the Black Ambition Fund that supported over 5,000 founders and awarded resources to 101 prize winners. And I don't know the difference there. Let's see here. It looks like it supports Black and Hispanic people, which is not a bad thing. You know, I think that you got to be real careful though when you talk about somebody being from south of the border. That does not mean they identify with Black people. Some of them are racist, just like the white people in America. And you just understand that you have millions of Black people in places like, you know, Brazil and Colombia and other places that get treated very badly. And I think that we have to get rid of this idea that there's an automatic Black-brown coalition. I don't believe in this idea that everybody who comes from Mexico likes Black people. In fact, I will tell you, when it comes time for your reparations, let me know what you think. When it comes time for you to fight for your reparations, I'd be curious to see how many people that were let into the border in the last year or so are going to be standing with you and fighting for your reparations. I don't know. Y'all tell me what y'all think, but I think that this political nonsense is what is misguiding to us. And also, when I was mentioning earlier about the propaganda, how deep it runs, they'll just flat out lie. When they see somebody speaking truth, they start telling lies and misinformation. So one lie misinformation that was spread about me was that I was telling Black people not to vote. They literally were saying that. There's just people running around saying, "Oh, Dr. Boyce is telling Black people not to vote." And I said, I never told Black people not to vote. I told Black people to make their own decision. And you don't like it when Black people make their own decision. Why? Well, because this country was built off of the backs of Black people. This country was built making money from Black people. This country thrives by getting resources from Black people. And so what I believe in, if you want to know, I believe in a Black first philosophy. Black first means that you put yourselves first. Ain't no wrong with that. Black first just means you take care of yourself before you take care of everybody else. Because let me tell you like this, and again, on my Instagram, Dr. Boyce Finance, I hope you'll consider following, because we talk about a lot of interesting things on their platform. I shared a clip where Susie Orman was making a comment about something that is basically similar to the $5 a day investing plan in the Black community. And she was explaining how a 25-year-old that invests $100 a month till retirement would be a millionaire before they're done. That literally within one generation, you could go from being from being broke to having millions. And it's not hard. It's not hard at all. It's very straightforward. It only requires one thing. Then the one thing that it requires is that you love yourself as much as you love your landlord. Seriously. It only requires that you love your children as much as you love the car dealer. It only requires that you love your family as much as you love going to the club or buying Nike sneakers or going to the mall or going on vacation or going to the Cheesecake Factory or doing all the other things that we might do with our money. Why do I say it that way? I'm not saying you shouldn't go to the Cheesecake Factory. I'm not saying you shouldn't go to the club. I'm not saying any of those things. What I'm saying is you got to love your kids as much as you love that car. Why do I say that? Well, because when I lay out the $5 a day investing plan, which is completely free, by the way, you can go to boycewatkins.com. It's right there. Or just text the word stock to 31996. I'll send it to you for free. Just text stock to 31996. Millions of you are already doing this, so I'm very happy about this. Basically, what I show you is that if you simply do what you're already doing, but just do it for yourself instead of doing it for your landlord, your family would be very wealthy by the time you're done. Every single person listening right now, I promise you, every person listening on YouTube, every person listening on TikTok, every person listening on Spotify, if you simply did this one thing, your family would be wealthy. And if they protect that wealth, they will be wealthy forever. Literally, one change would literally erase all the BS about the politics. It would erase all the BS about, well, racism mean we can't do nothing as black people. Because no, it would erase all the Negro naysayers. Y'all know the Negro naysayers. The Negro naysayers find a problem for every solution, right? You know, this is Charlie, the Negro naysayer. I bring him into class every now and then. He's like, black people can't do nothing. Black people can't invest. Black people ain't got no money. Black people are broke. Well, one thing I would say to the Negro naysayers out here, those who don't believe that black people can accomplish anything, is to help you understand that you're already doing it. You're already making someone a millionaire. You're already doing that. And I can tell you this as a finance PhD, that mathematically I could show you. How many of y'all, let me just ask it like this, because I want to make it real simple. How many of y'all pay your rent on time every month? Give me a yes or no in the chat. How many pay their bills on time every month? How many of y'all pay your cell phone bill on time every month? Yes or no? I know you pay your cell phone bill because you're probably watching on your cell phone. How many of you pay your car note every month? If you get a car and they give you the credit to go buy you whatever car they advertise to you on BET, do you make that car payment on time, or do you just BS it and skip it and don't pay people back? Seriously. So here's what I want you to understand. If I were to take the amount of money that you put on your car note, the average new car note is $700 and something. The average used car note is about $500 and something bucks. If I were to take that same amount of money that you're sending to the car dealer and pay it consistently, just like you pay your car note, and did that over a 20-year period, that would turn it, and I just put it into an S&P 500 index fund. That money in 20 years would be roughly $400,000. Did y'all know that? That the car dealer is taking your money and creating generational wealth for his kids? But all you got is a car that don't even work no more, because don't nobody got a car that they had 20 years ago. Very, very rarely, very, very few of you have a car that you had 20 years ago, but they got the money that you had 20 years ago. Do you understand? Are you following this? I want to elaborate on this point. I want to get back to the thing with Pharrell in a minute, because I think this is all connected. It's about putting ourselves first. And so, and if you go 30 years, actually, it becomes even more dastardly. In 30 years, that number grows to approximately, I want to say, between $800,000 and $1 million. Did y'all know that? You have literally put almost $1 million of generational wealth into the pocket of your car dealer and his family by simply paying your damn car note on time every month. That's what you did. That's what you're doing right now. Some of y'all are OG. Some of y'all are over the age of 40, and you've been paying bills on time for 20 years. And so while you paying your bills on time, somebody is taking that capital and they're preserving it by putting it into an index fund and literally making this money without working. I have a whole podcast on Spotify, by the way, called How to Make Money Without Working. We talk about things like this. So that's what you did. You made somebody else rich. So here's what I'm asking you to do. I'm not asking you to go learn how to make somebody rich, because you already know how to do it. I'm not asking you to figure out how to turn somebody into a millionaire, because you already know how to do that. I'm not asking you to change anything about your behavior except for one small pivot. I'm asking you to take that same energy that you got, that obsession you have with making your landlord rich and the car dealer rich and the people that own the Gucci store rich, and simply pivot to also value your family and your children and yourself as much as you value the Gucci store, as much as you value the car dealer, as much as you value and love your beloved landlord. And I didn't even got around to your boss. Your boss is the real beneficiary, because you dedicate over 100,000 hours of hard labor to building his business instead of building your own. This is what happens in America. So you got to understand, in the Black business school, these are things we study like a science. We understand the answer. We understand the racial wealth gap like nobody's business. It's not a mystery to us. It's very easy. It's only a mystery to mainstream media because things stay a mystery when they want them to be a mystery. Right? It's like when we tell our daughter to go clean her room before she goes out with her friends, it becomes a mystery to her how she's going to figure out how to get all that done and still be able to go out. Right? She's like, well, I don't know how I'm going to figure out how to do that and pick my outfit and do that. Well, the reason it's a mystery to her is because she don't want to do it. She just don't want to do it. So the reason that it's a mystery to mainstream media how the racial wealth gap will be ever solved is because they don't want to actually solve it. Because the racial wealth gap it benefits the rest of America. It just does not benefit you. Anyway, let me keep going. Do me a favor. Thumbs up, share, subscribe if you have not done that yet. Also, I have a new best-selling book. It's called The 10 Commandments of Black Economic Power. You can get a copy on drboycebooks.com, or you can go to Amazon or Audible, wherever you want to get a copy. I have other books as well. There's an old book I had out there somewhere called What If George Bush Were a Black Man? I think you guys would actually like that. And I talk about the experience of the black male in America and and statistically speaking, what would happen to that black male if he were a white male, and what happens to white males if they were to be black. And it's really kind of a telling discussion of just sort of what America does and how the margin of error for black men is much thinner. And I think that you're seeing some of this right now with a lot of what's going on with these lawsuits and allegations. And I just saw Marcellus Wiley, who went to Columbia University, who played in the NFL. He was defending allegations from like 1991 or something like that. And just talking about just sort of the significant economic implications of the black male experience, and just why black men we just have to be a little bit smarter. We have to be a little bit more careful. So anyway, and also, by the way, if you text the word stock to 31996, I'll send you stock selections and things like that, and the $5 a day plan directly to your text. All right, so Pharrell, let's finish talking about Pharrell. So Pharrell is doing this initiative where he's partnering with different companies and different banks. I think the first one I saw was something he was doing with Forbes. It was an interview with Forbes. I think Forbes is one of his many partners that he's working with. He's got a lot of applicants for this, what do they call it? Black Ambition Initiative. And it's a nonprofit dedicated to supporting Black and Hispanic entrepreneurs. Now let's start with the nonprofit piece. Here's the thing. I need Pharrell, by the way, he's a singer rapper, in case you don't know who he is, right? He did, remember, drop it like it's hot, drop it like it's hot, drop it. When the bitch gotta get at you, drop it like it's hot. When they get an attitude, pop it like it's hot. So that song, right? Y'all know that Pharrell. Anyway, I know, I'm sorry. I'm just rapping this morning because I'm kind of slap happy. But anyway, so Pharrell, I think that the idea that black businesses are always sort of a charitable exercise is really a flawed assumption to begin with. Generally speaking, we tend to view black celebrities supporting black businesses as something that they do in their spare time with their spare change. We view it almost like handing $1 to a homeless person on the side of the road. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with charity, but one of the things about charity, and I'm not saying this completely defines what Pharrell is doing, but one of the things about charity is that charity is a lot more difficult to sustain. And there is an inherent racism that comes with the fundamental assumption that black business owners are a charity case. Do you understand what I'm saying? Do y'all understand this? And this is where I want to punch the liberals in the stomach, because they talk about you as a black man, as a black woman, when you're just as able-bodied as they are. They talk about you like you are handicapped. Let me know if you know what I'm talking about. They talk about you like you're intellectually deficient, that you're not as smart as white people, that you don't work as hard as white people, that you have to learn how to be white in order to be a better human being, and that it's their job to come in, like a parent saving a child, and protect you and nurture you. And what happens is that sort of trying to address some of this marginalization, all it does is it creates additional marginalization. The subconscious mind is very strong. And if you go, for example, I showed you all a picture of the entire staff at OpenAI. They took a selfie, a group selfie. There's not a single black person in that picture. Not a single black person in that picture. So what happens is the thinking of even the white liberal, and it's not racism per se, or intentional racism. In fact, racism is much deeper than just how they feel about you, right? So I'm not even mad at anybody when I say this, but their perception is, okay, when we're doing the really important work and we're doing the multi-billion-dollar projects that are going to change the scope of humanity, something as big as artificial intelligence, which has been compared to being as significant as nuclear weapons, we're going to do that ourselves. We're going to put the children out of the room. The Negroes aren't going to be in the room when we're making these important decisions, but when we, have an office party, we're going to go and invite a black person in to come rap for us. Or when we want to do charity, we'll go and support a black organization, a black business as a charity case, right? Or so when we make our $100 billion investment, we're gonna invest in this stuff over here, big boy stuff. But then when we get around to black people, we'll give them like $100 grand. Right? Do you understand what I'm saying? Like this is kind of an inherent racism that we got to get away from, because charity is never going to trump trade. In fact, I talk about this in my book, The 10 Commandments of Black Economic Power, and I talk about how culturally, how you develop the right economic culture in your family. I talk about how I deal with my own kids. And so I have kids that do. How many of y'all got kids that ask you for money? How many of y'all got kids that, literally almost want to treat you like you're an ATM or a welfare office? Give me a yes in the chat if you got little greedy snot-nosed kids or adult snot-nosed kids calling you, asking you for money whenever they can, right? Trying to see what they can get away with, right? They test their boundaries, right? I got that. Me and my wife have that all over the place. And what I tell them, here's what I say to them. I say, charity is not as good as trade. Don't tell me what you want me to give you. Tell me what you want me to invest in you. Because economics must be reciprocal. Reciprocal means that you win and the family wins. The family wins and you win. We give to you, you give back. We're helping each other out. Everybody's stronger because we're connected in that meaningful way. We're doing trade. That's where trade builds wealth. That's why London became the wealthiest city in the Western Hemisphere and the first city to reach 1 million people in population, because they had the Thames River where people would get together to have trade. This is economic theory, people. This is what economics teaches us. But charity is hard. Charity, if I got a child that's 30 years old, my oldest is 32. And she says, "Hey, Dad, can I have $500?" And I'm like, "Okay, all right, well, baby, let me get you $500. Here you go." And then she's like, "Hey, Dad, I need another 1,000. Okay, let me get you 1,000. Okay, here you go." And then, "Hey, Dad, I can't pay my rent. Can you pay my rent for me?" And I'm trying to be the supportive father. And I'm like, "Okay, sure, I'll pay your rent." Well, guess what? I'm getting drained and depleted and drained and depleted, drained and depleted, drained and depleted until I get to the point where I get older and maybe I'm not making the same money, or maybe I have a bad year financially and I'm starting to feel bad and drained because I poured all this money out to this able-bodied adult who hasn't been trained on the art of reciprocity. And then also, so what's happened is I've drained myself, and also I've weakened her because I've never trained her on how to contribute to the family. I've never let her know that part of your job as a member of this family is to also pour into the thing that pours into you. Like we have this mindset where we look at our kids and we just say, "Oh, well, my kids don't owe me nothing." No, the hell they don't. I owe my parents everything. My parents are senior citizens who need help. I told them, I said, "Well, you tell me what you want. You want to pay off that house? Let me write a check. We'll finish paying off the house, Daddy. You want a truck? Oh yeah, let me get you this truck." And they're like, "Thank you so much. This is so nice." I'm like, no. You don't owe me no sort of thank you. You know why? Because when I was a little snot-nosed kid back in the 80s and I was a teenager getting on your nerves, y'all stuck with me, and you didn't, and I wasn't even your biological son. You invested in me, so now I'm investing in you. You paid it backward, I'm paying it forward. That's all it is. Or vice versa, however you want to look at it, right? You hooked me up, I hooked you up. I think that's a better model than the charity model. So let's get back to Pharrell. When you talk about the black family, we have to invest in each other. Stop looking at the black community as some little poor, pathetic little group of people with no intellectual capital, nothing to offer, no intelligence. I'm not saying Pharrell is doing this at all. So let's just be clear. I'm not, because I like what he's doing. I want to be clear about that. But I'm really talking about his corporate partners. Y'all know how white folks get. Well, we wrote the $1 billion check over here, but to the black guy, we're gonna give him 100,000 just so these people will think that we're their friends. No, I want the $1 billion check. How do I sign up for the big boy money? How do you get that $1 billion black owned business instead of that little $100,000 coffee shop, right? How do we do what? Where's the black Elon Musk? How do we get that big boy money? You don't think seriously? Like really, I want you to think about this. I read a whole book about Musk. I love this guy. I actually like him. I do. And I know that there's the whole stuff about is he racist or is he not? I don't care. I honestly don't care what white people think about me because all that matters is what I think about myself, right? That's it. Seriously, like I really, honestly, again, this is my bias. I really think black people need to get off of this idea that how white people feel about you is so important to your self-esteem. Just come on, man. Like, let's grow some damn self-esteem ourselves. Self-esteem should be homegrown. It should not come from whether your oppressors think you're a good person or if they like you or they want to sit next to you in church. I don't give a shit. Seriously, if you don't sit next to me, there's plenty of people who will. My wife will sit next to me. My wife loves me. I don't need y'all to love me. Seriously. So here's the deal. Look, the most, as someone says here at Uncle Tom, we know the biggest Uncle Tom thing you can do is sit around hoping white people like you. So whatever you say, right back at you, because I just told you what you think does not matter. And obviously you must respect me because you're sitting in my chat saying silly things. So I'm gonna forgive your ignorance for you know not what you do. But at the same time, what I'm saying to you all is we got to get past this idea of whether or not people like us. Like, who does your life is not improved if the white lady in the grocery store likes you or not. It doesn't change anything. It only distracts you, right? So I'm gonna say this: I like Elon Musk. I do. I respect the guy. But here's the thing: do you think that there's probably black men and black women that are just as smart as Elon Musk? Yes or no? Do you think that we have black people in our community that if they were given access to 50 billion, 40 billion, whatever amount of capital he's been able to borrow, do you think that they could build a Tesla? What do you think? Yes or no? You think there's a black man or black woman out there that got a degree in engineering that's a genius, a computer mathematical genius who, if they were given a few $1 billion, they could create a SpaceX? Yes or no? Yeah, you bet your ass that they can. Black excellence is 100% real. And when we are on our stuff, when intelligent black people are on level 10, we can't be stopped. We are the brightest on the planet. We are the canaries in the mine. We are the people everybody should be learning from. And I understand this because I'm one of them. I was the only African American on the entire planet to get a PhD in finance in 2002, in case you don't know. But I know plenty of people. I got friends that are just as capable as I am. Some of y'all are right here in this chat. So imagine what the world would look like if some of y'all were able to go to a bank like an Elon Musk and find some way to raise, 20, 30 billion dollars to really do this thing at the highest level, to really start that automobile manufacturer or that space, satellite company or whatever it is. So the point on the matter is, again, with complete respect to what Pharrell is doing, I like Pharrell a lot. I told you, I really like it. Like, so Pharrell, if you watch this, just know you can call me. Just like I talk to every now and then, a celebrity will call me or something. I don't care about mainstream stuff, but I respect them. So I'll get on the phone with Ice Cube or Kanye, and I've talked to all these guys, and it's fine. Like when they ask me advice, I give it to them. I do the same thing for Pharrell. But I think at the end of the day, we got to sort of find a way to get ourselves out of the Negro box, right? The Negro box is a space where you're so stuck, you're so focused on sort of being the black guy that you never get a chance to just be a human. You don't understand how having your whole life centered around race and being black limits your ability to reach the fullest potential that you can reach as a human being. A Nigerian woman explained that. She said, in Nigeria, we don't see ourselves as black. We're just people. And if you don't like somebody, it's not because they're black. Everybody's black. Nobody cares that you're black. There's nothing unique or special about being black or bad about it. They look at the tribe you're from or whatever, or what skill you have or what kind of person you are. They're not all caught up in, like she said, I got to America and everything's about like, I'm black and being black and what it means to be black. And that just sort of takes away your ability to just do all the things that human beings do. So I would like for black folks to get a chance to have access to our humanity and really get a chance to explore our potential. But then at the same time, we have to deal with some of those challenges that come with being black. And I think one of those conversations has to be a serious discussion about reparations. When Pharrell talks about what he's doing, which is phenomenal, he mentioned, for example, that I think they had something where they gave let me look at the numbers, make sure I get it right. Hit the thumbs up button, by the way. They did a pitch competition and they had 36 finalists that received awards between 20,000 and $250,000. And also, let me see here. There's a top business called Ecom Spaces. They got $250,000 in Monocle and Ecom Spaces. They got $250,000 and 200,000 a piece. Not terrible at all. But Antoinette Banks, the CEO and founder of Expert IEP, received $1 million. So you have the top founders that do get, a decent amount of money. But what then happens is if you spread all the money across all the founders, I remember in my head thinking that it was roughly about $100,000 per company. $100,000 doesn't fund most major corporations for even one day. If you go look at, let's compare it to a company that gets big boy money. Okay. Let's look at Uber. Uber was a company that lost money for many, many years. Let me see here. Uber annual expenses. Let's look at how much money Uber burns through per year. The expenses for Uber, pay attention now. I don't want you to compare this to the $100,000 award. Uber Technologies operating expenses for the 12 months ending September 30th, 2023 were $35.6 billion. $35 billion. Now their revenues were pretty high, but for many years their revenue was $31.8 billion in 2022. That's an 82% increase over the course of a year. So that's pretty amazing, right? But I want you to think about this, right? So for many years, Uber is a company that was spending more than they were making. And they weren't spending like, $1 million more than they were making. They were spending billions more than they were making. So that means, what does that mean? I want you to understand this. This is very, very, I'm going to make it simple for everybody. Where do you get money if you're spending, $2-3 billion more than your income? Imagine any of you in here. Imagine if you were living above your means and you were spending $2 billion a year more than what you actually make. That wouldn't be possible for most of you, right? You would have to be subsidized by the bank. Do you understand? So I want to see, my dream. Martin Luther King had a dream about little white girls and little black boys holding hands and stuff. I don't dream about all that. I'm going to hold my wife's hand. I don't want to hold hands with a white girl. I want to hold hands with a black woman. But here's a dream I have. I want to see a black-owned business that has the ability and the privilege, the economic privilege, to spend $1 billion a year more than they're actually making and do that for a number of years and not be in bankruptcy, not be like put out of business. Seriously, black-owned businesses have a margin of error that is so razor thin that 90% of the super businesses that would have become billion-dollar entities are aborted on site. They don't even get a chance. They don't even survive the first year because they can't even be $1 million above their revenue. We can't. That model, that financial boomerang model of making almost no revenue but yet having expenses through the roof. That's something only white people can do. Like white businesses can do that. I don't know of a single black-owned business anywhere that has been able to do what Uber or even Airbnb and a lot of these Amazon and a lot of these major corporations were able to do. Elon Musk was losing money for like at a torrential level before he before he became the richest man in the world. So here's the thing. There are black people such that if you gave them some time and money and time, those are two, write that down. Those are two probably the most valuable assets in the economic universe are money and time. And time really is money. This is me thinking as a finance professor. Mathematically, we do equations a lot. And when you do the equations, you put variables in the equation. Time is the most impactful variable in any economic equation. We value stocks the same way you might calculate how much money you spent or whatever. We have formulas to evaluate stocks, things like what they call the present value of an annuity model. It's a very popular model in finance. So effectively, time is money. In fact, time is more valuable than money. And what happens is a lot of black-owned businesses don't have any time because the banks won't loan them time and money. They won't say, like when Sam Walton started Walmart, where all of his children, by the way, are multi-billionaires. He has several children that are on the Forbes billionaires list, by the way, right? So, but when Sam Walton, if you rewind that button and go back to when Sam Walton first started Walmart, Sam Walton was this close to bankruptcy. If Sam Walton had been black, there would be no Walmart. If he had been black, there would be no Walmart. If he had been black, there would be no Walmart. Why? Well, because Sam Walton got to the point where he said, man, my revenue is only $1 million, but my expenses are 2 or 3 million. And he called the bank and he said, I need more money. I need more money and I need more time. I need you to hold me. I need you to let me hold something real quick so I can keep this business afloat. And a couple of banks said, no, we're not willing. This little Walmart thing you're doing is stupid. It's not going to work. You're losing money. So you need to go ahead and kill it. That's what a lot of y'all would say to your cousin. Them, if your cousin had a business where he was making $1 million but spending $3 million, you would instantly say, you're a failure. You're a loser. Kill that business. You're stupid. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. You would kill that business quickly. But Sam Walton, what happened was he called 2 or 3 banks. They said, no, we're not going to give you that money because your Walmart idea is stupid. It'll never work. He found one bank that was willing to give him the $2-3 million that he needed. And the crazy thing is that there was no like this is crazy or oh my God, this is so ridiculous. Like I can give you 5,000, but to ask for 2 or 3 million, you're just being ridiculous. You're a scammer. You're just wasting people's money, right? That's the conversation that happens when you don't have access to capital. But let me just tell you, I see these things. My brother works in venture capital. They write $100 million checks like it ain't nothing. They will literally write $50 million, $100 million checks for a business that couldn't last 10 minutes in the black community. That black people, that black consumers and black investors would kill instantaneously. Why? Well, because capital is scarce. So I want y'all to just understand what white privilege looks like in the economic space. That's what I see. And I like what Pharrell is doing. I want to keep saying that so that it does not sound like I'm criticizing what he's doing at all. But really, if you're talking about real economic parity, these damn banks need to be forced to acknowledge and loan significant amounts of capital to businesses that are controlled by people in our community. Just look at what we do right here in the Black Business School. We have a budget that is probably 1% of most universities, yet I could do a survey right now where 90% of our students would say, I learned more from you all than I learned in college. That literally, I'm not kidding. We have billionaires that come through. We have the CEO of the Air Jordan brand come through. Like we play at the high, we play above the rim. We understand black wealth better than anybody else. We got therapists and PhDs and attorneys and real estate investors, all of that, right? Stuff you can't get at any university on the planet. And we operate on a budget that is 1% of what most major universities get. Imagine, so if I can do that much on a budget of a couple of million, 2-3 million, imagine what I could do if I had a budget of $300 million. Think about what we could do. So ultimately, you got to pay up. you got to write the damn check. When you talk, the biggest issue to me, in my view, when you talk about the next election, is reparations or bust. It's all about reparations. If they write the check, if they even write a check that's even a fraction of what they really owe you, then all this other Democrat, Republican, we shall overcome, Black Lives Matter stuff kind of goes out the window because you literally instantaneously elevated the economic condition of 70% of Black families in this country. At that point, it's our job to train people so they know how to hold on to their money instead of giving it all away. That's a cultural conversation. That I wrote about, in case you want to know, I wrote about that in my book, The 10 Commandments of Black Economic Power. I talk all about economic culture and how if your culture is bad, you will lose your money. But assuming you have the right culture, and I know a lot of you do, a lot of you are already doing it. A lot of you are masters at making $1 out of 15 cents. A lot of you have created successful businesses with no support whatsoever. You've done the impossible. When white people go to college, they're told it takes 3 to 5 years for a business to become profitable. Most of y'all business owners in here did not have 3 to 5 years to lose money before you could become profitable. You had probably 3 to 5 months because you were running the business off of money that you borrowed from your 401k or credit cards that you maxed out or a $5,000 loan that you got from your cousin that helped you open up your bakery. So I commend you for that. You are the economic superheroes of this country. You have a superpower if you've been able to pull that off. Just like my grandma who found a way to raise 5 kids without ever making more than $22,000 a year. That's what we do. That's how brilliant we are. So if we're that brilliant and that capable when we don't have any resources, imagine what we'll do when we get the money. Imagine what we'll do when the Black Business School can go and borrow $20 million from the bank and just do what we do best. Go hire 1,000 intelligent Black people to teach economics to millions of people all across the country. That's what we do. We have all the mechanisms in place. We just don't have the funding. And a lot of you have businesses that are in the same situation. So the Black Elon Musks that exist out here, the Black Mark Zuckerbergs, the Black Bill Gateses, they never get a chance to explore their greatness because they don't get the capital to do that. And the best you get is something like Pharrell. God bless him. He's doing the best he can with what he has. But $100,000 ain't shit when you're trying to build an empire. If all Sam Walton had was $100,000 when he started Walmart, that Walmart would not exist. Do y'all understand? If all Jeff Bezos could get was $100,000, there would be no Amazon. Do y'all follow what I'm saying right now? If Elon Musk could only get $100,000 when he started Tesla, there wouldn't be no damn Tesla. There wouldn't be no SpaceX. There wouldn't be none of that stuff. So I'm just sitting there trying to say that it's all about the money, folks. It's all about the money. When we get to the election, I'm going to tell you, my position will be very basic. I'm going Joe Pesci from Goodfellas with it. F you, pay me. Well, we need to get Trump out of office. F you, pay me. Well, we need to, Black Lives Matter. F you, pay me. Well, we need to get souls to the polls so everybody can vote. F you, pay me. Pay me my money and then get out of my face. You pay me my money and then I'm good. You pay me my money. I don't care what you do after that. Pay me my money. That's what we deserve as a community. We deserve our check. They need to cut the damn check and cut the shit because they've been feeding us nonsense since the beginning of time. And I don't know about y'all, but I'm sick of it. Absolutely sick of it. I'm done talking. I'm going to breakfast with my wife today. She gonna calm me down. That's what my lovely Black woman does for me. She soothes my spirit because as y'all can see, like every other Black man, I wake up pissed off sometimes, and that's probably not healthy. All that cortisol is not good for you. So anyway, guys, I want to say thank you so much for listening. It was an honor to speak with you today. If you'd like to get some free stuff from me, I have a list of AI stocks I can send you. It's totally free from the Black Business School. Just text the word stock to 31996. Text stock to 31996. Also, if you'd like to get a copy of my book, The 10 Commandments of Black Economic Power, it is available at drboycebooks.com, along with a lot of other resources that we have. We have financial workbooks for kids, financial flashcards for children, things like that. And my wife, by the way, happens to be a therapist, and she's really good at what she does in terms of dealing with things like financial anxiety and stuff like that. So if you want to see what she does, you can go to coachingwithdralicia.com. That's coachingwithdralicia.com. All right, guys. I'm done. Thank you for listening. God bless you. Please hit the thumbs up button on your way out. I will check in with you guys again real soon. And I want to also give a special shout out to everybody on TikTok. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me today. I love y'all too. See you guys later. Have a good one. Peace.
Here we are, clan the isms, cataclysm great. Our people out here struggling, trying to make it in this state. Everybody out here doing it, but we the ones too late. Now family, we the ones who gotta delegate. Get that money in the power, never be fake. Stick to cosign for 3. What did he say? Create jobs, support our own. Educate the same and buy back your home. Got 3 degrees, triple 10. 3 PhDs, now we on the CNN. DBTV, let's talk about negligence. Ignorance is bliss, but we can turn it to intelligence. Believe none of what you hear, half of what you see. Let's break it down here on Dr. Boyce TV.